All right, a pleasant good evening to all the ambassadors, the excellencies that are present this evening. A special good evening to His Royal Majesty, King Edwin Ifeanyi Madu. We're in the class of Steele. It's Friday evening. And this evening, we don't have Her Excellency Dr. Anita Davis Defoe. She has informed us that she's in flight and she will be unable to attend the class this evening. So I'm able to take this opportunity to bring the final segment of our class with regards to intentions. We started on Monday with intentions. Tuesday, we did part 2. And today we are going to bring that class to a conclusion, intentions. I want to welcome the person of Her Excellency Doreen Barunji, our COO in the class of Steele. Your Excellency, it's lovely to see you this evening. You are very welcome into the class. I equally want to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Dr. Donald Ewers, our Chief of a Protocol. I want to acknowledge my wife, Her Excellency Jeannie Steele. Your Excellency Jeannie, it's good to be here another Friday in the class of Steele. Equally, His Excellency Olusogun Olukoya, I know that you're in transit, but we want to welcome you to the class this evening. And we have a new appointment that we want to mention with great joy this evening. And he has assumed the office of visual effects, web developer, and responsible for our social media in the class of Steele, and none other than His Excellency Chuka Emeka. And we want to thank him and welcome him to this evening's class. I also want to acknowledge Her Excellency Zionist Amaka Curry in the UK. You're welcome to class this evening. And Charles and Reverend Daniel, all of the excellencies in the house, you are welcome. And to those who are going to be watching us on our social media, you are welcome to class this evening. The time is now 14 minutes past the hour of 7 p.m. in the UK. And as I mentioned, today is the 14th of January, 2021. Let's jump right into this evening's class, the final session on intentions, so that we can bring this class to a closure. And my First Lady just told me, I said the 14th of January, 2021. I think I should correct that. Today is the 14th of January, 2022. It's always a challenge when you step into a new year. You can't believe that one is done and a new one is come. All right, let's jump straight into class this evening. So we are seeing that we're seeing this evening, we're discussing about limits, having no limits. Intentions have no limits. This was the last class that we dealt with. Intentions have no limit. And I want to go into this particular class and looking at the dynamics that we're at currently. What's great about intentions? They have no limits. And we talked about looking at things that we call limits and recognize that they're not limits. They're not boundaries. They're just parts of the terrain that we have to navigate successfully to reach our intention. And not only can we set long-term intentions, we can also set a new one each day and can even set multiple for one day. The possibilities are endless when it comes to setting intentions. There's no such things as having too many intentions. No such thing. Create a purpose for that day forces us to be present. We looked at that in the last class on Wednesday. So let's now jump straight into slide number 9 for today's update. Here are the beginning statements of some personal intentions you can have for yourself. I intend to lead by example. I intend to lead by example. It's a choice. What type of leadership do you want to put in place? What is your intention? Is it a leadership, do as I say, or is it a leadership, here am I, let's do this together. I'll show you how to do it and we will do it together. Leading by example. I intend to love unconditionally. Here's some intentions, loving unconditionally. I love unconditionally. It sounds really strange, but I love unconditionally, meaning that there is no conditions to, if I love you, I love you. If I don't love you, I don't love you equally. I think that's also important, because we have to recognize that whatever you do, set an intention and follow through with it. Let it guide you, let it lead you, let it keep you. Whatever your intention is. I intend to stop taking things personally. How many of us take things personally? Sometimes we are, if you use the term, we are addressed or we are in an environment where we are spoken to, and we find ourselves in an environment where we take it personal. I tend to look at life through the eyes of, don't take things personal. Don't take things personal. Move on from taking it personal and look at it as a lesson. Look at it as you've accomplished something, you've grown, you've matured, you've learned something, but don't take it personal to heart that it can cause you to lose a relationship. Many people lose good friendships because they take things personally and they don't relate them in light of it's informational or instructional, or it could be a good bit of advice that can help us. Don't take things so personal. I intend to manifest happiness naturally. Are you a happy person? Are you a person that is always excited and in a good mood, good frame of mind? Or do you always appear grumpy and miserable? How do you approach life? What have your past days been like? Have you been personally happy? I want you to ask yourself, because here are some things that are going to add value to our characters as we focus on them. I tend to make it a habit to deliberately choose to be happy. It's not easy, mind you, it's not easy, but it gives me an opportunity to let people see me and says, he always looks like he's happy. Oh, you don't look like anything happens to you. You don't look like you have bad days. Well, it's not you don't have bad days, but it's about, what are your intentions when you go out there? What do you want people to see? Do you want people to be pitying you? Do you want people to be feeling sorry for you? What are your intentions? I intend to see the goodness around me. This one is very easy sometimes, but equally difficult other times. Let me explain what I mean by easy sometimes and difficult at other times. How many of you know when things are going bad, it's so hard to focus on the good things? It is so difficult to look and those good things that you celebrate, you love, you appreciate. It is so hard to focus on them when things are going bad or difficult or challenging. I want to challenge you to see goodness around you. Look around you. Look at the people. Look at the opportunities. Look at everything around you and find the goodness in those things that are around you. Let your mind manifest the ability to hold on to those good things and enjoy them, celebrate them. Let them become so magnified that the little one or two bad things that are happening, they don't bother you so much, because we all need some reason to put a smile on our face and to display a good attitude. And a good attitude comes when you have something good that you're focused on. I intend to be kind even when under pressure. This is an interesting one. I intend to be kind even when under pressure. What a statement. How many of us are under so much pressure sometimes? But yet, even though we're under pressure, we still endeavor to show kindness. How many of us, when we're going through difficulties, find it really hard to be kind? We find it hard. Nobody wants to be kind and loving and all sweetie when things are going bad, or when things are difficult, or when you're under pressure. It's not easy. But if you make it one of your intentions, it means that when those times of pressure comes, you have somebody that's going to say, hey, you're feeling the pressure, but come on, are you being kind right now, or are you reacting because of the pressure? Some people come home from a hard day at the office and so much work to do, and you treat your siblings or your loved ones with so much unnecessary disregard. And it is nothing to do with them why you're treating them the way that you are. They didn't merit it. But as a result of your personal pressure, your difficulties, your frustration, you take it out on others. And that's not healthy. It doesn't reflect very well on you as a person, first thing, but it also puts strain on your relationships. Sometimes you're under pressure for a contract or an agreement, or working with others in a very challenging position, and as a result of that, you're unkind, you're mean. Come on, I'm talking to us. I want us to be a people that when difficult times are upon us, we have that ability to rise above those difficulties. We have that ability to say, I am still going to be kind. Even though I'm under a lot of pressure that might be weighing me down, I'm still going to be kind. I'm not going to blast this person in my anger or in my frustration that is nothing to do with them. I intend to make someone smile every day. That's not hard for me. Every day I speak to His Excellency Dr. Yours, we laugh our heads off like we're two crazy people sometimes. We always find reasons to laugh. So I think that if I want to make somebody laugh every day, I'll call His Excellency Dr. Yours. My wife is somebody that I make her smile every day. My son and our daughter, I think that I succeed in making somebody smile every day, even if it might be a sarcastic smile. But you create an element where you make others feel good. What am I doing with this particular slide? I want you to look at your personality, your character traits. I want you to look at them, focus on them, and see where you could improve or add value to your character. I intend to freely forgive others and myself. This and myself part is the most important. I think it should have been, I intend to freely forgive myself and others. How many of you find it very difficult to even forgive yourself? You're so hard on yourself for some of the mistakes you've made. should I use the term, we are so hard on ourselves for some of the mistakes we have made. We find it difficult to forgive ourselves, but equally forgiving others. I find it easy to forgive others because I have a model. Don't be angry at the model I'm going to share with you why I personally find it easy to forgive others. Here's the model. I find it easy to forgive others because I know how to excuse myself from reoccurrences. You should write that one down. It is easy to forgive others when we learn how to excuse ourselves from reoccurrences. What does that mean? It means that you forgive others and you create a relationship, a bond, or a division, whichever is necessary to avoid reoccurrences. I hear individuals say, forgive and forget. I don't use those terms, forgive and forget. Memory is a good thing. God gave us a memory for a good reason. Do I say you count how many times somebody do you a wrong before you decide you're going to cut them off or you decide you're going to separate? No, that's your personal choice. You make a personal decision when you are going to move on. You make a personal decision when you've had enough, you've forgiven the individual or individuals, but you're not going to give them that opportunity to hurt you the way they did, or to offend you the way they did, or to put you in the problems they put you in. Are you with me? Don't be tied into thinking that freely forgiving means that you have to sit down and re-tolerate. I think that's an interesting word. And re-tolerate the same thing, because you might forgive the person, but sometimes you forgive individuals and individuals never really asked for forgiveness, or they never had any intentions on exercising any remorse for what they did. How many of you know sometimes people upset us and rub us the wrong way and they don't show any remorse? How could you forgive somebody that hasn't shown any kind of remorse for what they did? Well, there's one way that you can do it. You forgive them in your heart and you move on. I intend to make mindfulness an important part of each day. This one is from the First Lady. The First Lady is the person who put this one there, mindfulness. My wife has always been talking about being mindful of others, being mindful of individual situations. So mindfulness is very important. I intend to suspend judgment and accept life as it is in the moment. You know, a lot of times we get to the place where things can frustrate us and overwhelm us, and we kind of make immediate judgments. Immediate judgment. Oh, this is exactly what I was thinking. This is exactly. No, sometimes it's not really exactly. Just wait a little bit longer. Give things time sometimes. Don't assume something based on your immediate reaction or the current status of things. Suspend your judgment and accept life in the moment. I'm not hearing him now. I'm not hearing her now. I don't know what is wrong, but I will wait until I hear for myself. I'm not one to jump to conclusions easily. As a matter of fact, I get into trouble for not jumping to a conclusion a lot of times, because individuals look at me and says, but why don't you look at it? You can see this, you can see that. Why don't you make a decision? Why don't you assume this, or why don't you realize this? That's not always true. A lot of people might look at me and they might make assessments or judgments, but they don't understand what's happening right now, immediate. Sometimes you find yourself making immediate judgments. Don't do it. Let 2022 and beyond be a period where you suspend judgment, suspend it. Accept life. Sometimes you show up and you might be getting the bitter end of a stick because somebody had a bad day or is having a bad day. Are you going to judge them deliberately? Are you going to cast an immediate harsh judgment at the person, and then when the person calms down or they did change and they want to speak to you, you find it difficult to reopen dialogue? I intend to make, and you fill in that blank, one of my habits. What is a habit you're going to develop in 2022? What is a habit? I want you to think of something that you think is going to be helpful to you in 2022. What are you going to do? What do you intend to make a fact about your life? What do you intend to say by the end of 2022? I want to see this. I'm not talking about a New Year resolution. I'm talking about an intention, a focused intention that you're going to work on, that you're going to get completion and see results every day. What is it that you're going to do? Here's some other thoughts to consider. As you form your intentions, remember these important points. Please remember these. Frame your intention in a present tense and positive tone. How many of you, like me, all of us, I had enough. I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to do this again. How many of us have done that? How many of us have gotten to the place where we became overwhelmed, angry, frustrated, and we spoke an intention? I'm going to see to it that this happens or that happens. That's an intention. And a lot of times those intentions come back and they bite us. The reason is because when we look at the dynamics, when we look at the situation, when we look at the circumstances, we realize, oh my goodness, that was not a good intention that I had. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that because maybe of one of these points behind here, one of these points that said, I intend to suspend judgment and accept life as it is in the moment. You didn't have this as one of your intentions. So as a result of not having that as one of the intentions, you jump to conclusions immediately. So one of the things to consider is frame your intention in the present tense, in the now. I'm going to finish this class tonight. And I'm going to have a great time. And I'm going to hear from some of you guys what you think about these classes that we've done. And we're going to have a good discussion. And I'm going to have an awesome night tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a super fantastic night tonight. Trust me when I say that, because there's so many good things that are on the horizon. Be positive. Don't ever do anything or frame any intention when you are angry. How many of you know a lot of mothers have cursed their children in anger? A lot of parents have said a lot of horrible things in anger, in the frustrations. They've left scars because of their tones, harsh tones that kids cannot forget. I dare to say that One of the things I observe about Africans, Caribbean people, us people of melanin, is that we're very strong in our tones. And a lot of times our tones cut deep and leave deep scars. We give intentions with such horrible passion. If you don't finish your degree, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. We're so harsh sometimes. If you think that I'm gonna tolerate this, wait and see what I am going to do. Our intentions, the tone. I want us to really look at it. How do you speak out your intentions? How do you convey them? Do you convey them in a manner to make someone feel proud and pleased to hear your counsel? Or do you convey them to make people tremble with fear when they sit before you? Do people tremble with fear, or do they repent? Repent in humility. What do they do when you speak? When you exercise your intention as a leader, a boss, a CEO, a father, a mother, an auntie, a care worker, a support worker, a mentor. How do your intentions come across? What is the tone? A landlord, a landlady, what is the tone? You see, these are some important points that you need to focus on if you're going to be a great ambassador. I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest with us. There are times that, and please don't take this the wrong way, there are times I wish I was not an ambassador, wish I was not a reverend or a bishop, because those offices put us in a place where we have to be extremely mindful of our behavior, our attitude, our deportment. We have to be. Our tone. One of the things that I intend to do this year as a mentor is to tone down. I want to speak a little bit more calmer. A lot of persons say to me that I come across really aggressive. As a matter of fact, I will even put it, my wife has given me some notes, and I'm gonna utilize them, but I want you to recognize that even as your mentor, I am also learning. I'm also growing. And this is something that we have to do together. My wife gave me a note that I have here. I keep it close if you can see. What it says: do not say stop. Do not say forget that. Do not say I don't care. Those are words that Her Excellency has requested that I try not to say. So now that I have said to the class of Steele, I'm going to try to not stop people when they're having a conversation, when I think I know what they're going to say. I'm going to try not to say stop. I'm going to try not to say forget that. Because everything that bothers you or troubles you is important. Let's look at how we can address it or how we can deal with it. And I'm also going to try to stop saying I don't care, because I do. I might say I don't care, but the truth of the matter is I do care a lot. So there are things that we all have to put down and make them our intention. What are your intentions? Some of the other thoughts to consider is make your intentions adjustable and attainable. I'm not going to say, I will never say stop again. I'm not going to say, I will never say forget that. I'm not going to say, I will never say I don't care, because I can assure you, knowing me, something might come up that I don't care, genuinely don't care. So make your intentions adjustable and attainable. I'm going to minimize how much I say these things and choose wisely when I say them. Make your intentions attainable. Stick with the same intention week after week. Your mind stops responding to it. Oh, my wife, I think there's a word that was supposed to be there. It is stick with the same intention week after week until your mind stops responding to it. If you have an intention of not doing something, stick to it. And then all of a sudden, you'll find yourself not doing it. And then you look back and says, oh my goodness, I have not said ABC for a month. Look at that. I knew I could do it. You could even look at yourself and recognize, whoa, I've changed my tone, how I speak, how I communicate. The past classes that I did, I reviewed those classes, and my intention to be a little calmer has been beneficial. I've been successful. Oh my goodness. I've learned how to calm my passion. I've learned how to come across in a more palatable manner for a larger audience. I'm changing. I'm evolving. I'm getting better. Therefore, stick with the same intention for a few days, then rephrase it slightly. Never drastically alter it. Never drastically alter it. How many of you know that there's a benefit and a value in me when I'm being passionate? There's a value and a benefit. In times I am passionate, there's value. But there's also a value in times that I'm calm and more relaxed. But we don't want to create an environment where I find myself overly to the next extreme. Either you're too loud and passionate, or you're too calm and melancholic and bore people. So there needs to be a balance that you strike, and you tweak it. Continually tweak your intentions. Tweak them. The goal is to polish and enhance changes by making doable baby steps rather than giant leaps. A lot of people make giant leaps. I'm going to do this. It's a giant leap. And you realize, wow, it's unattainable. You can't do it. It's impossible to some degree. Note I said that nothing is impossible with persistence. But how many of you know that persistence is also gradual? Persistence is going to mean that it takes you some time. You work at it, you focus, and you get there. All right? Good intentions, bad outcomes. This one is very important. This one is extremely important. How many of you asked the question, why do good things happen? Sorry, why do bad things happen to good people? How many of you have asked that question? You have good intentions, but you have bad, but the outcome is bad, horrible. Good intentions, noble intentions, but the outcomes are horrible. Intentions is the force that lies behind everything that you do, good or bad. And that's just why it is so important to exercise some control over your intentions. If your intentions are clothed in fear, etc., then these fear-based intentions predictably come about. They will come about. This is very interesting to note. If you have an intention that is based on fear, and it's a perpetual fear, a perpetual annoyance of your mind, a perpetual anxiety, a perpetual doubt, a perpetual fear and worry that you can't get away from, the chances of them becoming reality are greater than anything else. One of the hardest things to manage is your mind with your desires. If you want something, it is so hard sometimes to hold on to the intention you want when so many dynamics are flying around. I remember when I was going to Dubai, it was my intention to get to Dubai. But how many of you know sometimes dynamics make it so hard for you to stay focused on your intention? When I got to the airport all packed and ready and everybody's expecting me, there was no ticket, no ticket for me. How many of you know that that will cause anybody's intention to waver just a little bit? It might even cause your intention to change. Well, it looks like I'm not going to be going there anymore because I don't have a ticket. So immediately your mind goes into saying, that which I feared is come upon me. I fear that something would go wrong. I fear that. And when you get there, it happens. But you now have to rise above it. You now have to manage it. Just as intentions that are positive and ambitious will move you closer to the goals you desire, the negative thoughts and fears will move you closer to the things you fear. Write that down. Fear is the opposite to faith, and all of them have the same power. Both of them. Fear and faith have the same power. If you fear falling down enough, trust me, you will fall down. How many of you get what I just said? Fear and faith have the same power. Take that note down and keep it. Fear and faith have the same power. If your father drives the fear of his wrath in you, it has the power to get you doing what he wants you to do. Because trust me, you dear don't want to fall into his wrath. You fear it like something else. But if your father believes with you that you're going to do it, and you believe with your father that you are going to do it, and you set your intention towards doing it, and you put your intention in motion, you'll get it done. So what does that say? What does it say? It says that you can't have faith and fear at the same time because both of them have the same power. And one of them is going to be greater than the other. If your fear is greater than your faith, you will get what you feared. Write that down. If my fear is greater than my faith, then I'll get what I fear. If my faith is greater than my fear, then I will get what I intend and what I believe I will get. A lot of people ask me, how comes I get everything or most things that I try to get? I say because I don't give up until I get it. Even when something negative happens, I still believe I'm going to get what I want to get. All that is different is the time frame might be different. That's all. But I want you in 2022 to recognize when you have an intention, ask yourself a question. Get a piece of paper and write this down, okay? I want to go somewhere, wherever it is. I want to go there. I want you to also write down, but I am afraid of this, this, and this. And I want you to write down the fears and the faith. I believe that I'm going to be successful in 2022. I believe that with all of my heart, irrevocably. But there's some things that I need in order to be where I expect to be. Am I afraid those things are not going to happen like they didn't happen in 2021 or 2020 or 2019? No. I don't even consider what happened in 2021 or 2019 or 2020. My focus is in the here and the now, today. And what am I doing to accomplish what I want to accomplish? Not bothered about the fears. The fears are a part of the process. Remember, I mentioned that on Wednesday. I talk about all those things that can get in the way of what you want to accomplish. And those things are not hindrances. Those things are a part of the process that you have, or you and I have to walk through together. And as we walk through those things, we will realize what it is we want to accomplish at the end of the day. That is the end of this evening's class. The time is 7:53 here in the United Kingdom. And I want to thank you so very much for listening in to the class. The title of this class is My Intentions. So let's look at the discussion session this evening. In the discussion session this evening, I want to ask you, on a serious note, all of you, on a serious note, what did you benefit sincerely, genuinely? What did you benefit from this evening's class? From this whole week of sessions, what did you benefit? Were they valuable to you? Did they make you decide to do something else? Or are you like a lot of individuals that when good information comes, you walk around and, oh, I knew that. Oh, that's obvious. How many of us do that? How many of us look at good counsel and we sit back as if we're great orators and great stewards of wisdom, and we never apply ourselves to embracing it enough to change? We never apply ourselves to saying, hey, that's good information. My wife gave me these notes. I didn't get angry. I didn't get angry because I want to be one of the best mentors there is. And any of you that give me any constructive advice or support or constructive criticism to cause me to be a better person, I want it. But equally, I would like to know that as your mentor, you don't just come and sit down and take notes to go and beat somebody else with. That's counterproductive. A lot of individuals come and they get lessons and teaching and notes, and this has always troubled me. This has always troubled me. When you go to church or when you go to a conference, the funny thing is that you sit in that seat and you always think of 100 people that should be here. How many of you do that? Behave at me if you do that. You think, oh my God, I wish that this person was here. Can I be honest with you? Something that I discovered? I'm going to be honest with you. It was not for them. It was for you. That's why you are here. If I was to be acting in the role as a prophet in the class of Steele, and I tell all of you what the Lord has showed me about you, a lot of you would not have made it in the class of Steele this long. You wouldn't. And I'll tell you the truth why. The reason why you wouldn't make it this long in the class of Steele is because nobody likes being told the truth about themselves. Nobody. Everybody wants somebody that's going to tickle their ears, make them feel nice, important. Everybody wants that. The reason why I lock down these classes is because I intend to make all of you so powerful. I'm going to teach all of you some things that if you think I have reached somewhere that is, wow, I would like to attain some of what he has. If you think that I have something that I could offer you, I promise you, I can assure you I do. But I am intending to make every person that sits in front of me the envy of any place they go in 2022 and beyond. That's my intention for you. However, I'm going to rub you the wrong way. I'm going to offend you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to upset you. I'm going to embarrass you publicly because you're in the group. Am I saying that that's my intention to upset you, embarrass you, offend you? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's going to happen because of our human nature. And you are a part of a mentoring class that have others that are like you and like me, that are needy. We need somebody that's going to help us to the next level. Today, I want to bear my nakedness and my vulnerability, and that's what I will do as your mentor all the time. I will do it. The reason why I'm going to do it is because I don't want you to come into the class of Steele and think that I think I have reached. I will never reach. Neither will you. As they would say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. You will never have the class that will make you be in a position to say, I don't need to hear Dr. Steele no more because I have heard enough. You will never reach that place because the revelation that God gives to me every single day is new, just like yourself. The challenges that you are going to face every day are new. Today, I celebrate with Zionist, Amaka Curry, and Zionist, I want to give you an official accolade in the class of Steele. The One. That's my title for you. The One. Write it down. Anybody ask you, who am I? The One. My mentor says I am the One. Write it down. Just write it down. The One. Your Majesty, what is the Igbo term for the title The One? What is it, Your Majesty?
What do you say? The One?
The One, yes. The One. That's all. The One.
Yeah. We're going in the morning, 7 a.m. The One above? I'm going there very early. Manana, go down. The One. Okay, Onyambo, yeah.
It is what, Your Majesty?
Onyambo, the One.
Onyambo.
Onyambo, yeah.
Type it inside of the class and give it to Zionist from me, please.
Okay. That's a good position.
Give it to her from me, please, Your Majesty. The One. Just give it to her. Today she might not understand what I'm saying. Tomorrow she will, I can assure you. But give it to her, Your Majesty.
Okay. Okay.
And those and for the Igbos or those in Nigeria culture, His Majesty can tell you mine. I am Oko CC1. It's okay.
Yes, yes. Because this one, yeah.
but
Zionist.
but Zionist,
The one.
I label you the one. Your Majesty, please put it in writing for me so that I know it. Put it in the chat so that she can see
Okay.
how it looks. And thank you so very much, Your Majesty.
You're welcome.
Zionist, thank you so very much for allowing me the privilege of having a computer system for the class of Steele. We officially have our computer system. The class of Steele has an official computer system that belongs to the class of Steele. Yes, it's a work that we have to make sure that we look after it. It is our responsibility. But I will say more, it is my responsibility to look after it. But Zionists have opened the door and made it possible. And seated here today is that computer system. All right. So the class of Steele, we have a class of Steele computer system. You should clap. You know why you should clap? Because we've come a long way on broken pieces. We've come a long way on failure and frustration and upset and annoyance, but with a good attitude, with a good character. And God has seen fit to give us our own system. Belongs to the class of Steele. That's one. Two, Zionists have given us, the one has given us a ministry and a work for families that I embrace with love. In the summer of this year, we are going to have a conference, and it is based on the family. And it is called Menopause, Menostop, or Menago. Is that it? It is for if you are 45 and over, menopause, menostop, or menago, and it is for the women. So we're going to have a live concert, a live event, a live mentoring training that I will be doing with some others that we will bring on board, entitled Menopause, Menostop, or Menago. Menostop, menopause, or menago. Because a lot of persons are finding it difficult passing through this period, relationship-wise, business-wise, academic-wise, social-wise. So how do you manage it? How do you deal with it? So the one is responsible for us putting that together, and it's going to be happening here in the United Kingdom. And we will be recording it as well. We'll be doing it live on Zoom for those who are not able to come. But that's happening in the summer, anytime after June, between June and September of this year. Between June and September, we're going to put together the team to make that happen. The team that is responsible for making that happen would be Her Excellency Zionist Amakakuri. It will be Her Excellency Bishop Comfort Adu. It will also be, I'm looking. Doreen, please don't be offended, but Doreen, how old are you, my dear?
I'm 47, Your Excellency.
Aha, you are in the 45 to 50. Aha, you are in there. Menopause, menostop, or menago. You are in there, Doreen.
Yes.
So Your Excellency, Doreen, you will be a part of that. Adiola, please forgive me for asking my ladies. Your Excellency, Olusogun Olukoya, please forgive me. I'm just inquiring for the sake of appointing those persons who will be a part of making this a success. Adiola, please, are you within the 45 to 55 age group?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Do you accept the role of making this event a success and added value to putting this event on the table for between June and September 2022 in the UK? It's going to be in the UK, but it will also be live on Zoom.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Why, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So this event that we're going to put together is going to be a model. Menopause, menostop, or menago. And the reason why it's going to be a session that we are going to keep doing is because I'm going to do it in Birmingham, Manchester, London. Then we are going to do it in Africa, live and in person, because I think that it's a product that is needed. I think it is going to add value. The first day, it's a 3-day event. The first day is going to be the women talking about their dilemmas, their frustrations, and us looking at it, and I will be addressing it, and men will be addressing. We're going to have a few men speakers as well. The second day will be the men alone, no women allowed, no women invited. Men alone, where we will talk to men about menopause, menago, and menostop. How does it affect men? What are your thoughts about how women behave? And then the final day will be the men and the women together, where you will all sit and we will have healthy discussion and debates about this subject: menopause, menostop, menago. Now listen carefully to this. That belongs to the class of Steele. I have never heard it done before. If I hear anybody doing it and the class of Steele members are a part of it, I will be offended, greatly offended. And I'll tell you why I'll be greatly offended.
You will remove that person.
I will remove you immediately from the class of Steele. I'm telling you the truth. Your Majesty, Your Majesty, we will remove them. Why will we remove them? If persons give away the tools that God gave us to build our class of Steele, will the class of Steele get anywhere in a year's time? Will we be able to sit down and see any value in our organization? No. The reason why you are in this group right here, right now, is because you are the foundation of the class of Steele. And I trust you 100%. I do not expect any of you are going to betray my trust. I don't expect it. I don't expect any of you are going to go and do anything that is going to compromise what we say we're going to do, and then somebody does it before us. I don't expect that from none of you.
No.
I don't expect it.
No.
So with that being said, thank you so very much, Dewan. You're responsible. And for those, we will put everything in place, the advertising, the marketing, Chuka Maker, and us, we will put all of these things in place. So with that being said, thank you so very much for humoring me. I'm very excited. How many of you are excited? Wave at me if you have a tinge of excitement of what's happening in the class. Hey! Another update that I will give to you is I got an approach from the royal family in Dubai that they are very interested in partnering with the class of Steele and with regards to what we are doing in our philanthropic works. They're very keen to partner with us. So we will be putting together some meetings, and then I will have to travel to Dubai at their invitation. And I will be traveling with my chief of protocol, and if all things being equal, our COO, and if all things being equal, we must have an entourage. The class of Steele is not Dr. Steele. You cannot bring me alone and pull me in a corner to talk to me. I have a team. So you must bring the team. Come on, somebody. We're a team. And when you call me, the team shows up. Amen. Yeah, I
Amen.
see. Your Majesty, I love you so dearly. I'm proud of you, Your Majesty. As a matter of fact, Your Majesty, I hope that Queen Mother would be keen to play her part in this menopause, Go conference in the UK.
I hope so. I'll discuss with her. Yeah.
Of course, please discuss with Ma for me, please, and
Eh,
let's see if we could have a royal patron for this event. I think that would be so amazing to have. All right. So with that being said, let's talk to me. How have this intentions session from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday been for you? I'm going to start with Adiola. Adiola, you've been here for those meetings. How have it been for you, Your Excellency Adiola? Tell us in the class what you've benefited and what intentions that you personally have put in place that you think would be advantageous to you in 2022 and beyond.
Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency. Good evening to all the Excellency in the house. Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege. Since we started this topic, it has helped me to really understand what it means to have intention. Being focused is one of the things that really attracted me. That once you have an intention to do something, there is need for one to be focused. Although there will be distraction, but one still need to be focused. And having intention will help me, to achieve my goals, to achieve my intention. Having intention will help me, to deliver, whatever I want to do. Because I know that and another thing that crossed my mind, when we were talking on Wednesday was in the teaching line, anytime we want to write lesson plan and lesson notes, we always have objective, we always have purpose and what we want to achieve at the end of the lesson to be delivered. And we make sure we do not deviate from it. And as we were talking, I was just remembering what we do, in that line. We have objective, okay, that this particular topic I'm going to teach this week, this is what I want to achieve at the end of the lesson. The children should be able to know this, the children should be able to do this. And as we were just talking, I kept on remembering those things, and it works. So it means that I must be having intention. I have to be focused, I have to have objectives, and I have to have a conclusion. The conclusion there is achieving my goal, achieving what I need to get. And today, you said that intention does not have a limit, and it's true. So it means that I shouldn't limit myself in whatever I want to do. As long as God has given me the strength to achieve it, I will. So thank you so much for the topic, and it accepts me that being a leader, wherever I find myself, I have to make up my mind to be who God really want me to be. And being who God really want me to be, is not something that I should undo anyhow, but I should be focused, and with the strength of God upon me, I'll get there. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so very much, Adiola, for your submission. It's good points that you have raised. I want to ask Her Excellency Bishop Comfort Adu. We had a very long conversation today, a very long meeting, myself and Her Excellency Dr. Comfort Adu. Your Excellency, please, what has these 3 days of teaching on intention done for you? And have they done anything for you or added any value to your plans for 2022 and beyond?
Thank you, Your Excellency, and a pleasant evening.
to you and the First Lady and all the excellencies in there. Actually, I was asking myself why you chose that topic intention, because one cannot do anything without any reason. You should have the reason why you are doing something. And if you are conscious of what or why you want to do it, it gives you a short up. It helps you to move forward. For these 3 days tutorship on intention, it has done much good into my system, in a sense that I think I have to derail certain things I've been doing, meaning I have to go back and change other things. Like if I had intention of reaching a certain level and I see that there are impediments in my way, and I have to focus on it and then make sure I get there. It means there are certain things I have to do away with. And it will interest you that I've been thinking of, for the COVID time, people were having just one service. Now I've been thinking that if I'll be able to get what I want, meaning in fact, I love sitting under somebody like you to listen so that I can have a change in my life. So I've made it my mind that when going back to other days of service in the week, I have to go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and choose other days so that I will have time and then learn and then move ahead. I don't know whether you have noticed me, but I've made myself as a young person learning. In my mind, I don't look at it as I'm an old person. And I have in my mind that I'm still young and I still can learn. I still can make it. So I'm very grateful for the topic, and I'm looking forward to the end of that topic, where it will end and how it will end with me, where I'll be this year. So thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, and I celebrate what value I see the class of Steele can add to each of us collectively. All of us are going to make each other more beautiful. All of us are going to make each other more equipped. All of us are going to make each other more empowered. I can't accomplish things without His Excellency Olukoya, or without His Excellency Chuka Emeka, or His Excellency Dr. Ewers, or Doreen. All of us need each other so that we can be better, all of us. And I believe that as we continue to bond and gel and go through these classes, we eat from the same table. So if you eat from the same table, you have the same diet and you have the same results. Even though our thyroids might be different, but we will have the same results, a healthy appetite. Your Excellency, Doreen, our COO, what have you taken from these 3 sessions that we've done, and today being the final one? What have you taken from them on intention?
Good evening, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, Her Excellency Jenny, good evening, and all the excellencies in the house. First of all, what I have taken most importantly of all for this whole 3 days of training, I have taken from this session that there is transformation. Anything is possible for anybody to change for the better. Intention. I would like to first thank Her Excellency Jenny Steele for identifying those statements that she communicated to you, that you looked at and said, okay, I'll work on them. Adjustable. So what really touched me was that make your intentions adjustable and attainable. I was like, okay, my mentor, we learn every day, we learn. And so there are certain intentions that are long-term and there are those short-term intentions. So one needs to identify when should you apply
the short term and the long term. When I came to the class of Steele, I didn't know whether it was short term or long term. But when I had the mentor, I had lessons with the mentor. I'd say, hey, wait a second, wait a minute. What is this young man telling me? Does he really know what kind of people I lead? Does he really? Do I really need to come back and listen to this? I think no one has spoken to me like this. What are his intentions? All right, let me go back to the class of Steele. And I kept coming and you kept hammering me hard. But hey, this guy is killing me. So I adjusted, and ever since I started coming to the class of Steele, I transformed. I started looking at, without knowing that I'm doing short term, I could not change, I could not be told anything. But then I began to listen because someone said something about me and I'm like, I need to change. So I applied the short-term intentions. I started to, without knowing that it's an intention anyway. So it's this class that has made me realize that I was actually using these things in my day-to-day life, and this is what it is. The word intention is a big, big word. It's really big because it talks about aim, it talks about plan, and what you need to achieve. So these days, I'm now talking with the background of, I speak with people with the background of knowledge. I am like, okay, what is this person's intention? Is it a long-term intention? Is it a good intention or a bad intention? So this really it helps you summarize somebody, yeah? So you just don't go for a meeting to discuss with somebody. You need to know their intentions of why they have called you, of why you are seated there with them. Okay, is it a bad intention? And if it is, you have to just cut it off. You don't waste a lot of time because it can cause you a lot of problems. Like for me, who has meetings and with whichever people I meet. So this topic has been very, very helpful for me. And then also frame your intentions in a present tense and in a positive tone. This one is also very good, very, very good. You have to be planning on now. The intentions must be of now. And then, of course, the way they are communicated to a person, and they have to be achievable. So you don't, like, I can have a list of things I have to do, and I have to do them in a day. If I achieve them, I don't know if it's just me, but if I achieve them, I feel like, yeah, I've scored. I've done everything. I tick. Like now, when I was given my appointment letter to be a COO for the class of Steele, I kept asking Jenny, and this, what does it mean? And this, I said, okay, I'm going to buy my book. I have to give accountability of what I do in the class. But still, I bought a book. I can show you. It's a whole book. I record everyone. Everyone is here, and I tick them. All of you are here. So that when I'm giving my reports, the class of Steele will be like, oh, she was in class, she knows everything. My intention is to build with the class of Steele, and I love to do this. Dr. Michael Steele, Your Excellency, you've humbled me by saying, forget that, stop that, I don't care. That those statements were freaking me out. I knew you'd just tell me, I don't care, Doreen, I don't care. Jenny Steele, thank you so much. Thank you. These words are going to take us far. Thank you. Thank you. I'm also going to transform. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Doreen Burunji, I appreciate you so much. Me and His Excellency, Dr. Yours, speak so much about you. You've come a long way. And I'm
Yeah.
listening to you and tears are in my heart because I remember when we first spoke. I remember how you
Yeah.
couldn't even carry a proper conversation. You were worried about your
Yeah.
English and your put. Doreen, I'm so proud of you. I am.
Thank
I
you. Thank you, doctor.
when you stepped into the shoes of Her Excellency Victoria Okedire, who takes copious notes. Her Excellency Victoria Okedire served us so well. She did an amazing, immaculate job in the class of Steele, setting a very high bar. And when you stepped
Yeah.
in and you show that you had that capacity and you're doing it, you make this worth it. I take my time with all of you. Some of you get frustrated when I talk so much with others, but I want you to appreciate I'm a
Yeah.
mentor and I'm not going to rush none of you. That's why I say if you want to go, you're free to go. But I want to make sure that I honor and I respect every one of you because your progress is important. That's why you're here. And that's why I value you,
Yeah.
Doreen. Well done. Well done, Doreen.
Thank you, doctor.
You're making us
Thank you, Your
proud.
Excellency.
Making us proud.
Thank you,
Your Excellency, Dr. Ewers, what has it been for you, Your Excellency? How has these days been for you?
A pleasant good evening, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, and all the excellency in the house, and Your Majesty King Edward, and all the excellency in the house. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be in the class of Steele another time. And what is my take on it, sir? One thing I've learned, they said, sympathy and a hot cup of tea doesn't work. And Dr. Michael Steele, sometime when you come across on the scene or behind the scene, me and you debate so many times. If people could see me and you are debating and arguing behind the scene, that you call my name so many times, but if they only know behind the scene what we argue and say. And one thing I've learned is that surrender and learn. If you want to go somewhere, if you want to be somebody, if you want to get up and stand up, the class of Steele is the right place. If you're coming with attitude, if you're coming to say you know it all, if you're coming to say you're tired of this man, and so I have learned a lot. And I'll give an example. When we were going to Dubai, you gave me a full instruction what to do to go to Dubai, and I went behind your back and bring up the home office when we were banned in traveling in zone 6, the red zone, and everything that you said worked. And they put the spirit of confusion in my head, and you sit and you watch it. And in that, in the end, I had to come back round to what you said. And so, sir, I salute you for that. The other thing is let go limitation. A lot of us have limitation. We come with our own baggage. We come with our own brand. We come with our own ideas. We come with all sorts of things. But I've learned in the class to Steele that you learned us and taught us, our mentor, to be analytical, to know, to learn, to read, to develop your mind. And those are the things that broaden my horizon, sir. To know more, to be kind, to be giving, and to learn. And so the class of Steele, don't think, as you said it earlier on, and I endorse it, sir. Until the breath leave the body, will be continuing the school of learning. So, sir, I have learned a lot. Don't put limitation. My assertiveness when I'm anywhere outside of the class of Steele, because of the class of Steele, I have grown more assertive to deliver myself. Even when there's limitation, I know we can overcome. I know I can push the borders. I know I can deliver myself. And so through the class of Steele, sir, and the mentoring for the last couple of years, I think we're going over 2 years now, that the class of Steele is developing me as the chief protocol. I can stand in any crowd. I can stand before the royal family. I can stand to the sheikhs in Dubai without feeling fearful. And most of all, our daughter, Doreen, Doreen couldn't even open her mouth. Doreen, your tears came to my eyes, actually, because those of us who know Doreen, and we keep emphasizing, Doreen was an introvert, a shy young lady who wouldn't know how to talk, who wasn't assertive, who don't even know. Jamaicans, we said, A from Bullfoot. But here is Doreen standing up in Dubai in conference, Leaders Without Border, asking questions. I said, wow. So you are our trophy, myself behind you. And sir, you are developing up people of power, of people that can stand up, that you can go there, you and Lady Jenny. And don't forget Jenny behind the scene. Thank you, Lady Jenny, for Bishop Steele get under my skin. Stop. Rubbish gets under my skin. Thank you, Lady Jenny, for putting that before you, because I sometimes it gets to me the way he can come across. But I know you mean well. I know you want the best for us. You want the best to come out of us. And so, as a mentor, sometimes it's not very pretty. And sometimes the word is not very nice. You don't sugarcoat it. However, I like the holistic approach, how you deliver the class of Steele, how you mentor us. Sometimes you beat us, sometimes you say something else. We have to take it, swallow it, and move on. That's how we learn. I hand back to you. A pleasant good evening, sir.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Ewers, our Chief of Protocol, who I still remember telling us, please, I don't want to speak. Don't call on me. I don't want to speak. I don't know what to say. I just want to listen. But now today, it is such a privilege to have that you even carry on the class of Steele in my absence with such eloquence and confidence. I'm proud of you too, Your Excellency. Well done. Your Royal Majesty, please, your take on this evening's class, Your Majesty. How has this session been? You've been to two of them. How has it been for you? And how has the class of Steele been for you, Your Majesty?
Good evening, Dr. Steele. Good evening, all the management of class of Steele and all the excellencies present. Really, I joined the class of Steele. It was like, when it's a habit, it was a joke, a deliberate joke. The now is turning to something more interesting, that I am no longer in this class because Dr. Steele is my personal friend. No, I'm here because he's getting every day. I'm getting interested in what is being taught. I'm getting interested because it's making a meaning to me. Apart from being a king, I was just a very shy speaker. I don't know how to hold long my speeches actually, and I'm really improving every day, because when I see people speaking out, I say, that is it's not a part of me. But now something is really coming into me while the lesson was going on intentions. I was making a note. I made a note even before this. I said, this year I intend to lead. I think I intend to be fair and firm, in my leadership as a king. And most of the details of how to be fair and firm, really, I didn't know. It's now that my eyes are open. When you start, pouring them out, intend to lead by example, intend to love, intend to suspend their judgment. So as you said, I was just making note. I said, yeah, I'm getting back to really. I've already set a goal to be fair and firm in my leadership. And when you start, mentioning words, I want to ask, you have to exercise control. I say, yeah, that is it. I'm going to firm. I have to exercise control. You have to know how to coordinate. You have to know how to cooperate. You have to have the competence. You have to show your capacity as someone who will be fair and firm in delivering your goal and your intention. And I'm really blessed. I thank God for you. And I still pray that you continue. It's no longer, like I said, I'm no longer here to say, oh, I'm just a number. No. I'm here to learn. I'm learning a lot. And I'm happy to be a part of this class. Really, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Okay, it is transforming me too, because at times as people will look at me and say, "Ah, this is not the type of person." It takes me only 5 minutes in every meeting. 5 minutes. I'm known. They call me King Sharp Sharp. If I enter a meeting, five minutes, I'm done. I don't know how to, yeah, I'll just give you my points and that, then there I go. So but now I'm learning how to equally be patient, listen to people, hear them out, know how to, go about it, not actually making already a note. I don't care to listen to anybody. I've heard it from what my palace chiefs have told me, because they must have looked at that case before me. This time around, no. I've learned that you have got to be patient. I got to study this. I have to, ask critical questions within myself before I come out with any judgment. I'm really learning. I'm learning a lot here. Thank you.
Your Majesty, I want to appreciate your humility, because you being a king and you're in the class of Steele humbles me. As a matter of fact, I'll share this with you, Your Majesty. When God gave me the vision that I will speak to kings and leaders and at that level, because of my humble position in life, it was a bit hard to deal with. You have to learn, how do you do it the right way? How do you speak to a king and still honor and respect him, even though there are things that you have to say to him that are going to cause him to reevaluate his position or what he's doing? How do you do it? And Your Majesty, your humility and your friendship and your love for me have caused me to get to a place where any king I can humbly address with confidence, even if what I'm saying is contrary to what everybody else is saying. Sometimes they say that person brings an evil report to the king and they don't like the person, but I don't think it's an evil report. I think it is the ability to present it, that it might hurt, but it will not harm. So, Your Majesty, thank you for being in the class of Steele, for humbling yourself, and for seeing value in little me. I'm very grateful, Your Majesty. You're also mentoring me how to be a better leader. So thank you for being here, Your Majesty. I appreciate you in the class of Steele.
God bless you.
Dr. Charles, I see Dr. Charles, you are there. Your Excellency, Dr. Charles, could you unmute yourself? How has it been for you, Dr. Charles?
Yeah. Good evening, Your Excellency, Dr. Steele, and the rest of the excellencies in the house. It's a pleasure to be in the class when subject matter of this caliber is being discussed and thought about. Intentions. So my take in this thing is that intention is the propelling force behind what we do. Intention can be wrong, it can be right, it can be negative, it can be positive. It can as well be criminal intention or good intention. But these are whenever a criminal, even though he humbles himself, if you watch very well behind intention, intention gives you out. It gives you out. When your intention is known, you can no longer hide. And I got something while you are saying that sometimes, because of our approach to speech and other things, it negates our good intentions. That is why we need to work on ourselves, so that the way we carry things through, we portray the fullness of our intention. Because I think that's the angle I want to take it, so that I will give other people the chance to add values, because I wouldn't want to run around everything. But what I got most is the propelling force. Action speaks louder than words. and all these things brings out intention. And motive comes from intention, or intention comes from motive behind everything we do. For instance, I remember that was the very first challenging question you gave me. What do you want from the class of Steele? In other words, if I turn around, what is your intention of being here? And I told you, what I want is that I discovered that this is the place I have people of like minds. And seeing a mentor who is raw does not mean uncooked. Do you get me, sir? I didn't say you're uncooked, but saying the truth on a raw, the way you feel about it. Even somebody you told the truth may be offended, but in the end, if that person understands your intention, it will make him to digest and take the holistic approach of understanding the truth you are giving. That is why you are able to change people, transform people, somebody from being an introvert to now, let's say, semi-extrovert, somebody who can express ourselves. And because of your good intention, you are able to bring the hurting out of their shell so that you can heal them. I think I will drop the take here, Your Excellency. Remain blessed.
Your Excellency, I don't think I will allow you to stop because I'm still waiting to hear you personally in the class of Steele, and you, what did you get? What is changing you as a person? I want to hear that.
Okay.
What is changing you? What
is changing me in this aspect is that wherever you go and whatever you do, you have to reevaluate your intention. And by the teaching of intention, we were able to evaluate our intention to know whether it was going to be selfish or whether it is the intention to build or to scatter or to snatch something out of what is wanted and move on. But I believe that what I got from the class of Steele from this topic is identifying intentions by the way they are presented, by the way. I think coming back to the word I say, by their fruits we shall know them, which is the actions brings out the intention in every man. So, and then I begin to evaluate my intentions. And I ask myself, if this intention is not good, I have to re-educate myself and then change. You say that intention can not be limited, which means you can re-evaluate time and time again. And if it is not getting you to where you want, you have to change your intentions. Bless you, sir.
Thank you so very much for your submission, Dr. Charles. I appreciate you. I want to ask Chukwemeka. Chukwemeka, would you share your submission, please, with us?
Thank you, Excellency. Good evening, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele, Excellency Jenny Steele, our COO, Ambassador Dorin, and Dr. US, and all other excellencies, His Royal Majesty. I greet you all. This topic has actually done has stirred a great thought within me, because looking at intention, I've been able to learn that in order to get to where I need to where I want to be, I need to always set my intentions, then make sure that some things, factors that work against it, like fear and the likes, are not entertained within me. Equally, I've learned that the intention will always face some challenges or some things that will want to stop it. And like the question you asked us about what stops us from achieving or getting to fulfill the intention that we have set. I've come to understand that no matter what I do, I should not take anything or accept or see anything as being able to stop me along the way to getting my intention executed. I've learned that's the main thing I've learned in this topic, in this discourse, not to allow, no matter the circumstance, no matter the obstacle, no matter what it is, I must not, and I will not give in. So I have to keep on modifying my intentions by being flexible, so that it can be workable, and make sure that I need to make sure that any intention I set is attainable, and I can always modify them in order to make it happen. So that's my take this evening. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you so very much, Chuka Emeka. I wanted to reach out to His Excellency Dr. Daniel. He sent messages that he's having some network challenges. In closing, I want to ask Her Excellency Jeannie Steele, my dear, are you available to unmute yourself, darling? Your Excellency, First Lady, are you available?
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening, my dearest. What is your take on intentions?
Well, it's intentions is it's quite important to understand for yourself personally, because if you can understand your own intentions, I think it can also help you to identify the intentions of others. If you know yourself and know what it is that you are looking for, you'll be able to recognize that another person's intentions are good or evil, because they will be contrary to what you yourself are seeking, what you are feeling inside with regards to what you intend to do. So I think in going forward and with the forming of relationships and partnerships, intentions and knowing and understanding intentions is vital to the success of any partnership, relationship, or anything you're going to do with anyone else outside of yourself. So that's my take on intentions.
Thank you so very much. Your Excellency, Jeannie, what have you learned from the class of Steele?
Yellow pen. What have I learned from the class of Steele?
Yes, all this time, Your Excellency, what have you learned? What value has the class of Steele been for you, Your Excellency? You're our CEO. What value have you gained from the class of Steele in these 3 years almost?
In these 3 years almost, I have learned a great deal, particularly so based on the relationship you can form with other individuals outside of your race and outside of your community and other cultures. I have come to recognize that it is not as simple as I thought it would have been. And I like that I really have had this opportunity to get to learn about other cultures and to relate to other people, get to learn how other people communicate has also changed me in a lot of senses. I'm able to communicate with Doreen based on her culture, and it's different to communicating with Bishop Comfort because she's of a different culture. Even so, communicating with Donald Ewers, who is more influenced on the Jamaican culture. So it's given me a great appreciation and love for different cultures and learning that everyone isn't the same. Everyone doesn't communicate the same. And you have to make adjustments for that. So that's one of my biggest loves in the class of Steele, being able to grow based on the different people that are in the class of Steele. They have caused me to grow. To a little baby.
Thank you so very much for your submission, Your Excellency. I appreciate you. I want to ask Zionist, I saved you for last, the last one. Zionist, what has these 3 sessions been on intent, and what has the class of Steele done being for you? You've just passed through a hurdle, and it was a learning curve as well. What has the value in the class of Steele been for you like?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. And I'm not sure, my screen is very small, so I can't see everybody, but nonetheless, my greetings to all the excellencies in the house, my greeting to His Royal Highness, our King Edwin Madu, and our Chief of Protocol, and our CEO, First Lady. My greeting to all of you. The class of Steele has been has impacted upon me in so many ways. I would say with my age, I've kind of
Zionist, can I stop you? I
Yeah.
want to stop you for a very important point. I want you to stop saying could you kindly stop saying and how do you do it? Let me tell you how you do it. When you're going to say it in your head, and then you just go on and say what you're going to say, but focus on not saying because it's very
Yeah, I understand. Very distracting.
Yes, but also I want for you to improve your vocabulary. A lot of times when one says is because one does not have the immediate word to their tongue to put there. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. All right. The class of Steele has had a great impact on me, in the sense that everything I have learned in the past, I've had the opportunity to revisit all of them in the class of Steele. But not only that, I have had to learn more. Nobody's beyond learning. No age is beyond learning, and no age is above learning. And though I may have learned some subject before I come here, but the truth is that it hasn't stayed with me without being refreshed, without me revisiting it. And we say the brain functions much better when it learns, when it's been taught. So the class of Steele has been very much instrumental in the development of my mindset, because the caliber of learning that I am getting is quite unlike any that I will learn in the classroom. If I go to study whatever I go to uni to study, it will be a subject specific. It might be organic, but in the class of Steele, it's quite unique. The subject range is very diverse, and the intellectual impartation is so great. You wouldn't get that in the classroom. So I have learned so much. I have been stimulated. I have been challenged. I've heard you say, don't say, a lecturer in the classroom would not be bothered to tell me that he earns his money, he gives the lecture, he goes away. And so the class of Steele go beyond just teaching to mentoring. The class of Steele looks after both the spiritual and the mental well-being of each person. It's one thing to be mentored, but it's another thing also to be nurtured. And these are all facets of learning, training, mentoring, coaching that I'm getting from class of Steele that, makes me much better in terms of relating with people beyond the realm of class of Steele. So I have transferable skill that I execute, or I do my best to execute them when I am in situations that deals with people and also deals with challenging my own very self. Now, we take example, the lesson on intent. It's a byword. I intend to. I intend to. Your friend calls you, what do you want to do? What are you doing today? I intend to. We trivialize the word, but it actually is very, very powerful. And over the 3 days, I was particularly interested in mustering up a word cloud that will enable me to be able to write essays, or that will give me a pointer like a compass in terms of the meaning of what intent is to me. The other thing I gained from it is the fact that intent is intentional, which means it's not a case of I want to do it. It's a case of I have to do it. Get up and go and do it. And the word cloud that I have gathered regarding intention would definitely help me to understand what intention means, understand how to apply it, understand how to manage it, and even understand how to resist it, how to, put it in the back burner and have a rethink, reflection, evaluation. Intention, sorry, I'll try not to do that. Intention is deliberate. Intention is focus, purpose. There are limiting factors to intention: fear, opposition, fatigue, mental fatigue, self-doubt. They affect intention. Intentions, I now know, are adjustable, attainable. We need to be faithful to our intention until our mind stops responding to it. To quote our mentor, His Excellency Bishop Michael Steele, we need to have a structure and plan, competent, single-minded. We need to prime and prune our intentions. And so all this word cumulatively has given me a good compass with which to begin to see the purpose of intention, and how to actually make use of it for my own greater good. And so, in summary, what I've gained from the class on intention is being able to gather all these words, put them in a word cloud, albeit in a raw format now. But each time I look at every word, it kind of stretches out my imagination, appreciation, knowledge and understanding of what intention means and how powerful those few words, how they control a lot of other words, hundreds of words. It's got so much tentacle that whichever whichever direction you look at, whatever definition you pick up, whatever word you use, based on the lesson you've given to us, there's a lot to learn from it, and it's very sustainable. Using the words, using the lesson that I've learned, I'm going to stop trivializing intent and maybe stop using it all the time, and just, because there is cash to be made from intent. There's money to be made from intent. If we see it as a big word treasure. So thank you so much for the privilege, for the opportunity, Your Excellency, and all the excellencies in the house who've provided me with love and attention and support every now and then. Thank you, and God be with you all. In Jesus' name. No, amen.
In Jesus' name is okay. We're still Christians. I want to thank all of you this evening for being in the class of Steele. The time is now 2 minutes past 9, and our 2 hours have expired. And I'm endeavoring in this new journey that we're going on to manage our time as well, and to make sure that I try to stay focused within that 2-hour time frame. So with that being said, I want to thank His Royal Majesty for being in the class with us this evening. Your Majesty, such an honor to have you with us as always, and we cherish you and your presence in the class of Steele. I equally want to thank His Excellency Dr. Donald Ewers, Dr. Charles Chuka Emeka, Zionist. I want to thank Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu, Your Excellency, and of course, Our Excellency Doreen Barunji, our COO, and First Lady Jeannie. I love you dearly. Class of Steele is officially dismissed. Thank you guys so much. And for those of you who are going to be with us tomorrow for the youth section in the Class of Steele, we're going to have a good time with the youth. And on Sunday, I'm going to endeavor to do my Sunday duties as requested by Her Excellency Bishop Comfort Adu, His Excellency Dr. Ewers, and those who are inspiring and encouraging me to grab my Sundays by the horn and pursue it with diligence. So with that being said, by the grace of God, I will be available on Sunday as well at 3 p.m. London time. So God bless you guys. I love you. Have a fantastic weekend. Your Majesty.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
God bless
Good
you
night,
all.
everybody.
God bless you all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Dr. Charles.
Good
Good
night.
night, Zionist. Good
Good
night,
night,
Zionist.
sis.
Good night,
Amen,
Dr.
Abu.
Charles.
God bless you, my
Good
dear.
night.
Doreen, you are blessed.
You're blessed too. You're blessed too. Good night. Oh, Bishop Comfort, good night. Good night, love.